Hey, good morning, girl. How are you doing today? All right, just getting my mic all set up. Oh man, I had a wonderful day today, and you might be asking, Miguel, what did you do today that was so great? So I'll tell you. Thank you for asking. So a lot of things happened today. I think one of the most interesting and important things that happened today was that I went to Paso Robles and I went to hot springs there. It's called Franklin Hot Springs. And in fact, I was there yesterday too. I wasn't there just today, but yesterday as well. And the hot springs are essentially a mineral water exiting the ground. This mineral water is warmed by volcanic processes underneath the surface of the earth. And, it's warm. It's really warm water. The water is about, I don't know, 100, 106, 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's extremely enjoyable to bathe in. And so near Paso Robles, there's a pool. In fact, there's some hot tubs and a pool, extremely warm, kept warm by these volcanic temperatures, volcanic processes. And dang, I had a good time. I was at the Franklin Hot Springs Folk and Soak. So that title refers to folk music being played while you are soaking in the hot tubs and in the warm pool. And that's what I did. I soaked in hot tubs for a long time. I can't believe I guess I saw that my hands and fingers were like prunes afterwards, after I was bathing. And it was just fun having conversations with people in hot tubs, building friendships, and learning people's names and just building new acquaintances, and also just enjoying my time floating in the pool. In fact, that's what I did a lot today. I just floated on my back. It's so beautiful there. Paso Robles is a really beautiful town. And, it's in the midst of these rolling hills, which are essentially golden because of the golden grasses that grow on those hills here in California. And so not only did they have beautiful grasses nearby as part of the scenery, but they also had this blue sky, right? Iridescently blue sky with clouds, white clouds just everywhere, puffy white clouds. It was such a beautiful day today. Not so beautiful in Lompoc. When I left Lompoc, it was pretty cloudy. And when I returned, it was also pretty cloudy. So my guess is that your temperature here in Lompoc probably didn't get much higher than 75, but in Paso Robles, temperature got to, maybe at least 79 degrees. So we were probably hitting the low 80s where I was. And it was great. Had a definite good time, met a lot of people, had some good conversations, learned a lot about, I don't know, New Mexico. There was a friend of mine who is from New Mexico. His name is David. He happened to be there. And there was one person that I wanted to meet up with, Will Vanguard, who's a musician. And I just didn't make it. He was performing, but as a musical artist, but I didn't make it there in time. Anyway, maybe I'll see him another time. Anyway, I had a good time at the Folk and Soak, the 10th Folk and Soak event that there has been at Franklin Hot Springs. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to go to Franklin Hot Springs a little more often. It only costs $7 to soak the whole day. That's very reasonable. That sounds like a nighttime activity, really. Something that I could do, say, during the wintertime. Absolutely. That sounds like a really real thing to do. Especially if I wanted to keep warm. Since the water is just so strikingly warm. It's really enjoyable. It's not cold at all. I had a really great time there. And I don't know, it's just fun to just hang out and do nothing for a while. So that's what I did. It was a good time. After that, I went ecstatic dancing at the Chumash Auditorium. There is a group of San Luis Obispo CalPoly students who dance on a regular basis. They do ecstatic dance at the Chumash Auditorium. And I've been going here and there. I've got some friends who are a little older who go along as well, Eva and Dale. And always fun to meet up with them. There's also another gal named Shelly that likes to go a lot. And it's just fun to go dancing with them. All kinds of spontaneous activity. I tell you, I really love dancing. I love hot tubs and I love dancing. In fact, this year is going to be the year of hot tubs. It's going to be the year of water. I think I'm going to learn to stand up paddleboard. I might even take a surfing lesson. Who knows? I'm going to probably do a lot more swimming in the ocean. Of course, I swim like a kilometer in the lap pool every week. And then I'm probably going to do some hot tubbing, a lot more than that is usual for me. And then I'm also going to go to water parks like Hurricane Harbor, and there's even a water park in Paso Robles. I may not go to it too many times this year, but maybe I'll go to it one more time this year. So that's fantastic. So my whole summer is going to be filled with just water everywhere. So I'm looking forward to that. I made an amazing discovery today. I found the Coppertone Clear. It's a kind of suntan lotion. Yeah, it's a sunscreen. And it's completely clear, which is very unique because most sunscreens that I'm aware of, they are the color white. And when I spread them on my face goes pale. My skin just goes all pale. And there are parts, when I paint my face with the sunscreen, there are parts of my face, like maybe the parts that are next to my hair or whatever, and maybe my lips, they show. There's like this, the contrast between the color of my hair or my lips contrasts with the white of the sunscreen, and I just look weird, you know. I'm already pale. And the last thing I need is sunscreen to make me look paler. And in fact, also make me look a little weird, you know, in terms of the coloration of my face. And so anyway, I'm really glad that this Coppertone Clear has come out onto the market. I'll tell you, Coppertone's on the right track. And I have a feeling that this sunscreen is going to be a slam dunk for them. If it isn't, it really should be, because all the other sunscreens out there are totally white. And there has been, like, Neutrogena's got a few products out there for the face that sort of minimize the white color of sunscreen. And those are the kinds that I use. I use basically a variety of sunscreen that's less white, less Arctic white, and is still effective. But let me tell you, this Coppertone Clear, I've got a lot of high hopes about it. I sure hope that it's effective. I did use Coppertone Clear today, and look, I don't have a sunburn, so that's nice. Even after spending a couple hours doing some hot tubbing in the sun, I'm still okay. So really glad about that. So I got that sunscreen. There's also some Neutrogena sport sunscreen that I like to spray on my body. You know, see, here's the thing. I don't care so much about whiteness all over my body. I really just care about whiteness on my face. Anyway, I'm glad that I found a possible solution to my sunscreen woes. You know, all this white look of the sunscreen. I'm so glad. There is, there are spray sunscreens that are out there that are, that you can spray on your face. But here's the problem. They are oily and glistening, and I don't know, they just look weird. They look like you got lots of oil. I need sort of like an oil-free, clear sunscreen. So I don't have the oiliness and it's clear. And I think I've found that quality in Copper Tone Clear. So if you see it, you may want to take a look at it and give it a try. So I'm glad I found that. There's something else that's been happening lately. I've been eating a lot of fruit lately, right, in my diet, and I've been loving it. And in fact, I'm finding that the more fruit that I eat, and if I eat like 7 servings of fruit a day or more, I feel a lot happier. I'm just bouncing off the walls with joy. I'll eat apples and strawberries and celery and watermelon. And if I don't eat too many, so if I eat a lot of fruit, what happens is that, I don't know, my stomach doesn't feel all that great. But if I eat, just some fiber or whatever, my stomach feels really good, and I can eat a lot of fruit, and I just feel good, man. I just feel happy and satisfied, and nothing can get me down. So anyway, if you ever have troubles with mood, I suggest eating lots of fruit, fruit and vegetables. There's something about that combination which just, I don't know, makes me fly off the walls. I'm just loving it. I love to be happy for no reason, and I want to make sure that happens on most days. So you might ask, and here I am imagining you asking, well, Miguel, what did you do after you went ecstatic dancing at the Chumash Auditorium at CalPoly? Oh, don't get me started. More fun. Of course there's more fun. So the very next thing that I did is I got some frozen yogurt. I was at CalPoly and I went to Yogurt Creations, and I had, the triple chocolate frozen yogurt and some hot fudge. What can I say? I know. Ay. So, and I had a banana from Starbucks. And get this, I played video games at the video arcade. Yep. What can I say? I was living it up with ice cream, fruit, and playing video games. Oh man, it doesn't get any better than that. It's true. And I did really well scoring on this basketball game where you put like 50 cents into the thing and you shoot hoops for like 2 minutes or something. I think I did pretty good. I've got some really good hand-eye coordination. If you ever feel you need a challenge, if you ever think you need a challenge, come by me and check me out, and we'll have a competition together. We'll see who can get the basketballs through the hoop. But you know what? That wasn't the last thing that happened today. It wasn't the first either. One of the first things I did was I went to the farmer's market. That's right, the farmer's market out at Vandenberg Village. I think it's called the Route 1 Farmer's Market. The very first farmer's market, the Route 1 Farmer's Market. It happened this morning, and I was there as it happened. So that was neat. I saw a coworker there or nearby, really. And it was just a good time, man. I like that farmer's market. There's something about it I like. I cannot wait to start purchasing apples and strawberries and, I don't know, any other kind of fruit they might have there. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking for when apples get back into season. Wow. I think apples start getting into season around July, which is next month. Whew. That's great. And I want to get some fresh apples. I was driving around Paso Robles, and I found that there are a few places where you can go to. It's called You Pick Apples. So there are few you pick apple orchards out there, and let me tell you, that is good. I think that's going to be a big part of my life, and that is, what's the big part of my life? Well, let me explain. First of all, I love apples. I love apples. And I'm getting interested in not just any old kind of apple, but certain varieties of apples. Also, I'm interested in organic apples and apples in season and local apples. I know it's almost too much to ask, but somehow I happen to live in this world where I can have a choice of the apples that I eat, not just the variety, but whether it's local or long distance, whether it's fresh or less fresh. I mean, wow. And whether it's organic or not organic, to live in such a world is a miracle to me. I'm living in heaven. I am living in heaven. I mean, could things really even get better? But I don't think so. I don't even think they can get better. So I'm pretty excited. Not only do I get to eat as many apples as I want, why not? I also get to eat, the variety and type of apples with no pesticides or anything on them. Let me tell you, I'm going to be in heaven this summer and autumn. And if that isn't enough, and you'd think, Miguel, anyone would think that that would be enough. But I am planning to go to the Apple Festival in Springville, California. I know. It's insane. It's insane how wonderful my life is. That it's even feasible, that it's even possible. I can go to the Apple Festival in California, in Springville, California, this fall. It's in October, and I'm totally gonna go, which is just insane, really. So not only will I get to sample all types of apples, but I'll also be able to sample apple cider, maybe even apple butter, maybe even apple pies, apple ice cream. I don't know. It's just insane how amazing my life is. I cannot believe it. So this summer is going to be filled with me regaling you with stories about all the apples I'm eating, all the water that I'm going to and splashing into. It's going to be filled with that. I cannot believe it. All the dancing. Holy cow. I know. I really can't. I know. I'm living a life like no other. Like no other. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing great. I understand that final exams are probably happening right now. You're probably likely scurrying around, trying to do your studying, getting your flashcards together. Good on you. Good on you. I'm so glad you're doing that. You're learning your math, you're learning your science, you're getting that information cemented into your mind. That's valuable stuff. Today I was thinking that math is truly very valuable. It really is the key to opening the door to science literacy. Without math, I really don't see how you can effectively learn about chemistry or physics or engineering. Truly, I don't see how you could effectively learn about even biology without a solid underpinning of math, particularly algebra. And calculus is nice too. But really, if you've got like the first 2 years of calculus under your belt and you're solid when it comes to knowing algebra, man, there's almost no limit to the heights that you can reach in scientific disciplines. Yeah. The knowledge that is will be at your disposal and, at your command. The potential knowledge at your command is just amazing. And so anyway, Emily, I just want to reinforce the idea that doing well in math and science is a good idea. In fact, really, I think the jobs in the future when AI starts taking over, there's only going to be two kinds of jobs. There's going to be creative jobs, creative communication jobs, and actually, it's just going to be creative jobs like graphic arts, things like that, and or even in writing, where people write stories. And so it's going to be a creative job, or they're going to be science jobs. Those are going to be the only choices: creative jobs or science jobs when the robots come. And so, anyway, so that you're prepared, I suggest you learn as much about science as you can. Because if you could be both scientific and creative at the same time, which I'm almost certain you are creative. Oh, basically, almost all the feedback that I've gotten over the last 10 years of knowing you has been just a reiteration of this idea that Emily is a creative genius. And so pleased to know that. And so, I think in school, your focus, you may want to make it, learning math and science to the best of your ability so that you're able to, to use that knowledge as foundation for all your creative endeavors. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And you know what? There are plenty of ways to be creative in science. Absolutely. You could be a science teacher, any kind of communicator relating to science at all, whether it's a businessman, a business person, or just some kind of futurist, maybe. You can link creativity and science together so well. In fact, you know what? Really, engineering is just a combination of creativity and science anyway. In fact, logical thinking, any kind of mathematical thinking, is a combination or a merging of creativity and science as well. So anyway, my suggestion is that you master both. And I think you can if you got a mind like mine, a mind like your mom. I think you can do it. So long as you stay away from drugs. Anyway, so I hope you're doing well. I hope you're well on your final exams. I hope things are coming to a close relatively quickly. I don't seem to recall what the last day of school is for you, but I'm guessing it's like between the 6th and the 10th of June. Maybe it might even be as late as like the 12th of June, something like that. So that's cool. I can only imagine that you're really ready to finish your freshman year of high school. I mean, come on. I can imagine you're ready for it to be over. Speaking of school, I have been out of school for about 2 weeks now. And I've got a hankering to go back. Oh, man, I really need to get back to school. Today, I got my parking permit for Allen Hancock College for the summer semester. Whew, got that in. Of course, I registered for the summer semester at Allen Hancock College many weeks ago. Today, I was contemplating taking more than one class this summer. What do you think, Em? No, I can't. See, here's the thing. I would love to take another class this summer, but if this summer's going to be the summer of apples and water, like I hope it'll be, I don't think I'm going to be able to take a second class. I must limit my summer education to one summer class this summer. I just have to. Otherwise, I'm not going to have enough time. I know. Here's the thing about summer classes. Typically, they last like 3, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours a week, maybe longer, which is a long time to spend indoors in a classroom when you could be out of doors having fun. So I want to have a lot of fun this summer. Really looking forward to that. So that's great. Now that how could I not have a lot of fun when I've got access to so much water? I mean, the Pacific Ocean, and when I've got access to amazing sunscreen. I don't know, what is that, Coppertone Clear? Oh my gosh. Some genius chemist is working for Coppertone right now. Threw together, I actually have already tried this Coppertone Clear, and I put it on at the Franklin Hot Springs, and let me tell you what, it is the weirdest stuff ever. I know, it is so weird. It smells like the rubbing alcohol stuff. It smells like the antibacterial alcohol cleanser that people wear in place that people use in place of using soap and water. It is some weird, wacky stuff. In fact, here's something funny that happened. I put the sunscreen in the palm of my hand, right? And then I capped the sunscreen bottle and placed it on the chair next to me. This is before I was about to apply the sunscreen. And, I glanced to the place that I was putting the sunscreen bottle. And then the very next thing I did is I looked into the palm of my hand. I anticipated seeing the sunscreen that I just squeezed into the palm of my hand, and it wasn't there. Where did it go? Literally, I cannot believe I'm telling you this, but literally the sunscreen fell. I had tilted my hand as I was reaching to put the bottle on the chair. I had tilted my hand just, maybe 10, 15 degrees. And the sunscreen squeeze, the sunscreen gel tube cylinder of gel, it literally fell off the palm of my hand into my lap. I have never had sunscreen do that before. Never. Sunscreen is always like this lotion type stuff, right? This Coppertone Clear is not lotion per se. It's this wild, wacky stuff. And in fact, I tried to pick it up right out of my lap and put it in the palm of my hand again, but couldn't, because when I picked up just like a half of it. It just came and it kind of broke apart. It broke apart like a solid might break apart. This is some crazy stuff. And it must be some kind of like an air gel or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what it is. The material is just so weird. It's not, it is kind of a lotion. And what I had to do is once I finally got it into the palm of my hand, I had to squeeze it between the two palms of my hands and spread it out into a coating on my hand, and then apply the sunscreen to my face. That is some weird, wacky stuff. I've never seen sunscreen like that before, but it's worth it. I'll tell you why it's worth it, because I don't want a white face anymore. And I don't want to use that spray-on stuff because it's so greasy. I know. So anyway, thank you, Coppertone Clear. You're reading my mind. As a person who uses sunscreen nearly every day, a person who loves sunscreen and buys a lot of it. Seriously, I'm outdoors a lot. And how do you expect me to keep this youthful skin going unless I use lots of sunscreen to block out those damaging UV rays? So I buy a lot of sunscreen. I use a lot of it. What's kind of funny is that there is a large number of people out there who are really skeptical about sunscreen, about the toxic chemicals and all that stuff. And hey, yeah, I totally agree that it's not the best thing in the world for you. I think I've read clinical studies suggesting that the ingredients in sunscreen, when they get smeared on your skin, also penetrate the skin and get into your bloodstream, which obviously can't be a good thing. But you know what? It's all about a calculated risk. It's a calculated risk when it comes to using sunscreen. I mean, yeah, I've got weirdo chemicals circulating in my blood, but it also means I'm not going to get burnt and I'm not going to feel the pain of the burn. It also feels I'm not going to be, it also means I'm not going to be damaging my skin with ultraviolet light. So I don't know, you know, sunscreen is like a double-edged sword. I mean, there are drawbacks to either using sunscreen or not using sunscreen, and it's really just a calculated risk. You just got to do the best you can. A lot of things in life are calculated risks. I mean, there just really aren't any good answers, and you just try to provide the best answers you can. You know, sometimes there are not any good choices. There are not smart choices. There's just one choice or the other, and they're both pretty bad. And you just choose the one with the least severity and least probability, man. What can I say? And so sunscreen is that way. So I will continue to put sunscreen on my face. Why? Because I really don't want a sunburn. I've had my share of sunburns as a youth, as a young adult, and as an adult, and I'm done with sunburns. And I want to protect my skin from damaging UV rays. You know, ultraviolet light is a carcinogen. I don't think people recognize that. They don't understand it. I don't think they've really contemplated it. But ultraviolet light is a carcinogen. It will disrupt your DNA. And ultraviolet light is no joke. People talk about, you know, damage of their furniture because the sun, because of the sun. They talk about fading of fabrics and dyes, and they talk about, and I hear all the time about like PVC, like polyvinyl chloride piping, you know, just being degraded by ultraviolet light, becoming brittle and breaking. And ultraviolet light is no joke. That star, that G star that's up in the sky, that's, you know, emitting the full spectrum of light on the earth all the time. That nuclear reaction that's going on up there in the sky, that's a big deal. Yeah. And it's important to do stuff to prevent yourself from, you know, getting some kind of damage from the sun. And, you know, yeah, it's a big deal. I'm serious. At least it's a big deal to me. I really want to protect myself. And so thankfully, sunscreens are around, and we can use them to protect our health. You know, I don't know about you, but protecting my health is a value of mine. It's important. In fact, it's taking steps to protect my health. Also, to some extent, is what makes me happy. You know, when I go to the gym, I'm working out, I'm performing actions that will help me live my life in the future. You know, it'll help. This exercise will help sustain me, help me live a happier, higher quality life. And I love that exercise. You know, makes me happy. And, you know, protecting my health makes me happy too. Protecting my skin makes me happy. And protecting my teeth, my gums, That makes me happy. I love to floss now using the water flosser. I love to brush my teeth using the electric toothbrush. These are just things that I do every day as a form of self-care, whether it's sunscreen or using a toothbrush and toothpaste. This is all self-care. This is all about managing your health and ensuring that you're healthy for as long as you can possibly be. Yeah. So it's one of the things that bring happiness. It's at least one of the things that can bring happiness. Well, I think the reason is because you're doing it for a purpose. You're doing it for your own, in your own long-term self-interest, right? And when you do stuff like that, you feel good. You feel good because it's a kind of self-care. And, you feel valuable and valued. And I don't know, I appreciate it. So, I'm curious, what else is going on in your life right now? Oh, I know. I got you a present for your birthday coming up. That's right. I delivered that present already. You got your iPad Pro tablet computer. And turns out I've got an iPad Pro too, and I love it. I use it nearly every day. And I was hopeful that you might get the same pleasure from that computer as I do. These tablet computers are so powerful now. Apple Computers has done a fantastic job throwing this together with the operating system and the hardware, the retina display, and also the speakers. The music that comes from this device is outstanding. I love listening to the 4 speakers on the iPad Pro. It really is a miracle machine. And I love how fast it is. It's so powerful. I have like the 12-inch screen. I got you an 11-inch screen because you're smaller. I think the 12-inch screen might have been a little bit too big for you. But who knows? Maybe you'll grow into a 12-inch diagonal screen. Anyway, now we both have iPad Pros, and let me tell you, the options are unlimited. The possibilities are unlimited. Now we both have access to the pinnacle, or at least one of the pinnacles of computing power. And man, what can't we do? It's not a question of what we can do, because we can pretty much do everything. But what can we do? I don't know. That's probably a short list. So how fun is that? Wouldn't it be fun, Em, if we had the opportunity to explore together all the wonderful things that we can do with our computers, our tablet computers, whether it's reading books on the Kindle, or whether it's drawing using Procreate software, whether it's listening to music, using iTunes, or who knows what we could end up doing. We could end up doing some computer programming, and with our iPad Pros, or who knows what we could do. So there really is no limit. Is the sky the limit? Yes, I imagine the sky is the limit. So I mean, not only what's kind of great about my life right now is that not only am I living essentially a limitless life when it comes to eating fruit, and a limitless life when it comes to bathing in water, but I'm also leading a limitless life when it comes to computing power, and partnering with all that computing power with you. I mean, wow. So many amazing options. Totally looking forward to ways that we can sort of use all of this potential together. I don't know. I mean, it really just doesn't get any better than this. Really. So I'm just so glad that it's coming together like it is. I know. And look at this. Check out my hair. Look at this amazing mane of masculinity here. I love its wildness. I love its flair. I love its. This is the style that I get from running my fingers through my hair alone. I know. I can't believe it either. It's just, I think it looks really cool, really stylish. I was wearing a baseball cap earlier today to keep some of the sun off my nose. And normally I don't like wearing baseball caps, but let me tell you, wearing a baseball cap with this head of hair looks pretty good. I was impressed about my own appearance in a baseball cap, which never happens because I'm just not necessarily enthusiastic about the way I look in a baseball cap. But that idea might change. I'm starting to feel that wearing baseball caps may not be a problem for me. Anyway, I'm really glad about that unfolding the way it is. Like, oh yeah. And not only am I, from a fashion perspective, we're speaking about fashion now, not only am I getting enthusiastic about baseball caps, which is something I've never been enthusiastic about wearing before, I'm also getting enthusiastic about wearing sandals. Oh, yeah, I know. So here it is. I grew up in New Mexico, and in New Mexico, there's not a real strong culture of sandal wearing on your feet. When I came to California, I did buy some sandals. I bought some, what kind of sandals did I buy? Some Tevas. Sometimes they call them Tivas, but I think they're called Tevas. So I bought some Teva sandals, and so I basically have had this one pair of Teva sandals for like literally 15 years. And just recently they've started breaking. The sole has come undone. And the sole now just sort of bends and flops underneath the shoe, and it's just a wreck. You know, I need some kind of adhesive to adhere the sole back to the bottom of the sandal again, which is something I could do. It's actually something I've done before. I've used this stuff called Goop. And let me tell you, the fix, to be honest, at least in my opinion, in my experience, has been subpar. So I think I'm just going to get myself a brand new set of sandals. And I think I'm going to get the same brand. I was thinking about getting some Chaco sandals, but I tried them, and the fact is, the arches are too high on the Chacos. I hear good things about the quality of the Chacos and how they're comfortable, but even after wearing a Chaco sandal for like 30 seconds, I was able to tell almost immediately that my feet would not survive for very long in the Chaco sandals. Why? Oh, the reason is because Chaco sandals have a really, really high arch, and it's a really strong arch too. So there's basically no way I'm going to be able to wear a Chaco sandal. I wish I could, but it's not going to work for me. My feet are so flat. I need a flat footbed. If the footbed in the shoe is not flat enough, if it's sort of, if it has got some like a sort of like arch bulge or something, there's no way I'm going to be able to wear it. I've actually had to throw shoes away. I've thrown hiking shoes away. I've thrown tennis shoes away. I've thrown a lot of footwear away that has arches built in. It's particularly strong arches. If it's really a weak arch, like a foamy arch, that's no problem. But any of these strong arches, forget about it. Within an hour or two, my feet are just so painful that I can't go on, and I must dispose of the shoe somehow. You know, it's just my foot. It's just right here. Oh, excuse me, Emily. So what I hear is that as people grow older, they are standing on their feet and they're putting downward pressure on their feet. And so things start spreading out. The arches begin to fall. The foot width begins to increase. Maybe even the foot length, who knows, because you're losing the arch, of your foot, the natural arch. And I've lost mine a long time ago. I may not have even had natural arches. In fact, I remember for the longest time, like stepping out of a swimming pool and just seeing my flat feet in sort of as a result in sort of like the outline of water on the swimming pool floor, sort of like the perimeter around the swimming pool. You can see your footprints, and I've got some pretty flat footprints. I don't really have an arch. So I don't know if that's a result of old age or whatever. I mean, I'm not that old, and I don't work out that much. So you'd think I'd still have some arch, but really, I don't have much arch at all in my feet. So I definitely need a sandal that doesn't take arches that seriously. Oh man, I'm starting to get tired. I had an amazing day today. Let me just recap all the amazing things that I did today. I went to the Route 1 Farmers Market, the first Route 1 Farmers Market that happened today. So that was amazing. And then I went to the Focus Oak at Franklin Hot Springs, which was amazing. I had such a good time there. And then, if that weren't the end of it all, I also went ecstatic dancing. Of course I did. And then I went and got some frozen yogurt. Come on. Then I played video games, including like a basketball free throw game. I mean, that's 5 amazing things that I did today. And of course, the last thing that's truly amazing is, I video recorded a message for you, Emily. So what more can I ask for? I'm serious. What more can I ask for? There's just something about me succeeding in life that's just this natural unfolding that goes on. My brain somehow has figured out this reality stuff. It took it about 48 years to do it. But I'm beginning to figure out this reality stuff. Can you believe it took me a half a century? This is why pretty much everybody has to study psychology and philosophy. Without psychology and philosophy as, say, the cornerstone of any life, I really don't see how people do it. I mean, how do they must really just stumble through life without the benefit of philosophy and science and psychology, like I have, essentially the triumvirate of subject areas. Without being learned in those 3 areas, I just do not see how people do it. How do people cope? I don't know. I chalk up my success in life to those 3 things: my love of science, my love of philosophy, my love of psychology. I mean, without those as sort of like the foundation of one's mental health, physical health, I don't see how people do it. I just don't see how people get the insight to live reasonable lives. Pretty amazing. So, and you know what? My guess is that the reality is that most people are not as happy as they could be. Yep. Because of it. And, when people forgo science, I think people are forgoing a lot. Sort of an understanding of the natural world is important. Can you imagine there are people who are scientifically illiterate, right? Through no fault of their own, usually. But sometimes not so much. you know, and the tragedy of it all. So sad. Maybe they have a science illiteracy or have mathematical illiteracy, um, illiteracy. You know, it's just so sad. But of course, I guess that is just the human condition, right? It just happens. It just happens. You know, it just happens. That's what I've been coming to grips with recently. There is an idea in psychology that I've been coming to grips with, and that is this idea that, moral values are subjective, is essentially what it is. And that, the people who succeed, the people who adapt well in their environments, typically are people who take these ideas and abstractions of the mind lightly. They just do. Here's the thing about life. Bad things happen. Bad things happen all the time. People get cancer. People get killed because of weather. People get sick. People get injured. People get laid off. There's so much sort of injustice in the world. I mean, it's just phenomenal. I don't know how the court system even survives. There's so much, how should I say, inequality and injustice in the world. And I guess my point saying this is that, having some understanding of psychology and positive psychology in particular could be really helpful in helping a person sort of get the insights they need to ensure that they have a reasonably happy life. And to think that a lot of people just don't have that kind of interest is actually pretty mind-boggling to me. Where would I be without psychology? I don't know. I would be face down in a gutter somewhere. The discipline of psychology for me is a lifesaver. It's not optional. It's something that I have to do. I have to learn more about. I have to learn more about CBT and ACT and DBT, and I have to keep learning about NBC. There's so many acronyms. I just have to keep learning about all these pathways. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I have a really strong tendency toward personal growth, personal development. It's just who I am. It's who I am at such a deep level that I don't think it could ever change unless I had a stroke or something like that. But really, without any kind of modification to my brain, I've got this extremely, extremely powerful drive to continuously grow and expand my understanding. It's a non-trivial need. In fact, it might even go higher than a need. It might be a necessity, a requirement. For me, just for me and my personality. I have to continuously put energy into making connections, making adjustments to my worldview. It's just how I operate in the world. And if I'm not making these continual adjustments, I really fall into the doldrums, I think. I need personal growth. And so thankfully, there's so many sources out there. I don't have to worry too much about it. I can read my Kindle books anytime I want, wherever I am, and get that jolt of personal growth and development knowledge that helps me have the insights I need in order to live my best life. So, Emily, anyway, I hope you have a fantastic day today. Today's Sunday, the 2nd of June. I know that your birthday is coming up soon, the 21st of June, the summer solstice. Also, Father's Day is coming up soon. It's I believe it's a Sunday. I think it's the Sunday just prior to the 21st of June. So that's pretty phenomenal all by itself. What am I going to do for Father's Day? I don't know. I think I might just go dancing. Unless you'd like to do something else instead, I'd be more than happy to go see a movie with you, or maybe could take you out to dinner, or maybe we can go on a picnic and throw the frisbee around. That would be fun. Maybe you'd like to have somebody to practice playing volleyball with. I'm totally there if you're into it. So there are a lot of possibilities for Father's Day this year. And hey, if you'd rather just do nothing and maybe text message me or something, that's okay too. It's okay, man. It's just part of the human experience. It's just, I would like to figure out a way to make it a little bit better than that. Oh, and by the way, speaking of better than that, 7-Eleven gives away free slushies, one free slushie a person on July 11th. And oh my gosh, I just realized that I may not even be around. I was going to suggest this idea that we get together and go get some slushies together on the 7-Eleven at 7-Eleven. But I'm just realizing now, that the first 2 weeks of July, I'm going to be camping in Santa Cruz. So it will not be possible for me to go get Slurpees with you. So dang, we'll just have to do it next year. Anyway, I just want you to know that I had a fantastic day today, and that I was thinking of you all day today. Every hour on the hour, my mind was basically on you and asking about, how you were doing, and what you're finding excitement in lately, and what you're passionate about lately. Maybe what books you're reading lately. I'm intensely interested in these questions, and I'm curious about your answers to them. I'm curious about what your reaction is to your first year of high school, your freshman year of high school, and what your reaction is to leaving that first year. I mean, that first year is almost over and summer vacation is about to start. I'd be interested in knowing what kind of summer school you might be thinking about doing, or summer projects, maybe summer camps. All that stuff sounds really fun. And I'd like to have a little insight into what your thinking is about those subjects: the end of school, the beginning of summer, and any kind of summer programs you might be interested in. Anyway, I hope you enjoy your iPad Pro. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day today. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of the week. I'll touch base with you later on, probably tomorrow. And I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you're having fun. You're enjoying school, and you're enjoying your home life, and you're enjoying your parents in a way that's as fun or more fun than how I'm enjoying the world. I'll talk to you later, girl. I love you. Bye-bye.